What is up, guys and gals? Welcome to episode number 208 of the Nonsense Review. That's right, we have an episode per dog washed in 8 hours by a single person.
That is a very strange record.
Except if you remember that Guinness Records is all about publicity, that's almost certainly advertisement for a dog washing firm.
Yeah, almost certainly.
For those of you curious, it was set in the Netherlands back in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess you could, in theory, try and challenge and beat that, but you have to pay for a Guinness World Record adjudicator, and that costs like 1,500 quid on its own.
Yeah, and I also don't know whether it was was it by one person?
I specified by an individual.
Yeah, by an individual. Yeah, you'd have to be pretty quick at washing dogs.
Well, here's the thing, Rick, is it just says washing dogs. It doesn't say what standard or quality you have to wash the dogs. For all we know, they just dunked them in a bath full of soap and water and then took them out again.
Yeah, or just stood there with a hose and got all the dogs to run past and get a little bit wet.
I mean,
therefore slightly washed.
It took 8 hours, so I imagine it was more in depth than that. But again, we brought this up last week because I had another world record fact then. Like, Guinness doesn't specify things in the records. It just says, this is the record for XYZ, and there's no real detail to it. It doesn't say what qualified as a washed dog. Did they just dunk a dog in some water and soap and then call it washed? You don't know.
Yeah, did they just suds up a swimming pool and get the dogs to swim around in it?
Like, if that counts, any old fucker could beat that record quite easily. They just need to know 300 dogs.
Yeah, all 301 dogs, yeah. And a swimming pool.
Oh, fucking, you could rent a leisure centre for a day.
Yeah.
If you really want that world record.
Oh man, I'm just now imagining like dogs going down one of those like water slides, all going into the soap and all going, oh no, I don't want to be clean, I want to be a dog.
I'm your host as always, Devon, and joining me equally as always is Rick.
Hello everyone.
Now, those of you familiar with this brand of the show know that what I normally like to do is do a brief history of the thing we're watching and kind of regale you about the times of when it was airing brand new. However, today I didn't find this thing and I know nothing about it, so I've made Rick do the research. Rick, what the fuck are we doing? Why?
We're doing Ramshackle, and we're doing it because we're doing something a week in hand. It was made by Z Chen. He's an animator who worked on Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel, and also Lackadaisy, which is another indie animation that we've covered in the past. But he's the actual full-on showrunner this time.
Gotcha.
This is a pilot revamp and retool of what was his thesis animation.
So, school.
So the thesis film is available from 2020, and this was released in 2024.
Okay, sure.
And he also voices Baby Maggot in this, so look forward to that.
Okay, that doesn't mean much to me if all he's voiced is something that's in the show we're about to watch.
Yeah, there is a character in the show called Baby Maggot. But yes, that's about it for things that I've looked at and found out about it, because 2024, we were here for 2024, so
yeah, okay.
Not a great deal of point in looking at things that came out like in living memory.
Yep, fair enough. This came out 10 months ago, so that would have been about January, February, April last year.
Yeah. So just before we did May the 4th last year.
Yeah. We've both got the video open. It starts with a warning card saying the following film contains occasional swearing, occasional flashing lights, cartoon violence, and depictions of tobacco and alcohol use. Viewer discretion advised. And what appears to be a stylized signature. Very Haluva bossy, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some swearing.
Yeah. I mean, I always find it funny seeing these vanity cards, especially on YouTube projects, where it's like, yeah, we swear, no shit, and it's like, do you need a big old warning? And then I remember that there's a big portion of the internet that's whining piss babies.
Yeah, a bunch of beyond puritanical people that are like, oh no, you can't say fuck or bugger.
Jesus, even worse than that. Remember, we watched an episode of Regular Show not too long ago where the villain was an old lady who was like, you're using the internet for fun? How dare you?
Yeah.
But yes, as Rick alluded to earlier, we're actually filming this a week in advance because Rick gets to go on a little holiday.
Yes, I'm going to go to Toulouse, probably to watch the Bradford Bulls lose. seeing as the Toulouse is actually a pretty good side.
For those of you who don't know, that's a rugby team.
It is, yep.
But yes, so with that in mind, we can't talk about other weeks or the universe because it hasn't happened yet for us. So instead, we're going to borrow a section from the retrospective called
The Nonsense Asinine hypotheticals. What have you got for me today?
Well, not too long ago, Rick, we were bitching about how bad old PlayStation 2 movie tie-in games were because, they were just cobbled together for the sake of getting a few extra bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is a pretty obvious one. What modern-day movie or TV show would you make a tie-in video game for? The caveat being, it can't be good. It has to be old-school PS2 level of tie-in, where they clearly just took a game that was in development and quickly reskinned it.
So I take something that I want to make a good game out of, and I have to make a bad PS2 game out of it.
Not necessarily bad, but I'm thinking like the Finding Nemo game and the Cars game and that very bad Iron Man game, but that was PS3.
Yeah, Moana's actually a few years old now, so I can't pick that. They did do Moana 2, but they didn't put any fanfare into it because it was obviously an animated series that got smushed into a movie.
Yeah, Moana's in a weird place, isn't it? Because it got Moana 2, which, by the way, I've not even seen Moana 1, but Moana 2 was like a rushed cash grab movie, and they're already making a live action adaptation of it, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's at the same time as well.
Yeah.
But like, it's so weird. It's so weird.
I mean, it's weird, but it's also not, because when you think about it, it's because The Rock's a bastard.
Yeah, fair enough. Is She-Ra and the Princesses of Power recent enough to qualify?
Okay, so when I say recent, I just mean something post PS2 that doesn't already have a video game.
Well then, yeah, that. So we're making a PS2 style game of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, and we're doing it to draw attention to it before it goes away off Netflix.
Okay, but what type of game would it be? Because obviously there's a few different flavours of bad PS2 tie-in games.
Well, it's going to be like your standard SpongeBob type adventure game.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I could see it.
And like each individual character's got like slightly different powers that they can use for like the platforming, and
there's a small bit of water, so you have to be Mister for this bit.
Yeah, you gotta be a Mystic because she's OP when she's in the water, and everyone else is a pain in the arse. Apart from Seahawk, who's not even playable. He's just the person you have to escort during the water segment.
Oh, yeah.
You got to keep him entertained so he doesn't set the boat on fire.
Yeah, you're not allowed to play as the boys.
Yeah, you're not allowed to play as the boys. You got to escort Seahawk and Bo.
No, but you don't escort Bo. Bo just occasionally shoots things for you.
Yeah. Bo's like when you need to switch to C-3PO in Lego Star Wars. Like, he's not there to do things. He's there to, like, activate doors.
I was thinking that would actually be Entraptor.
Yeah. And when Entraptor is captured, then you just get Emily instead to do all the Entraptor things on her behalf.
Oh, you're so right. Oh, I hate how well we're booking this.
Shit.
We should have been game developers in the mid-2000s, Rick.
Yeah, shit. I accidentally love it. But yeah, how about you? What's going to be your PS2 era cash grab game?
Oh, I'd make Amphibia, and I'd make it be like so Shrek got so many bad PS2 tie-in games. One of them was a rip-off, a bad rip-off, I might add, of Mario Party. So yeah, I'd make Amphibia a Mario Party, but a bad version of Mario Party. So the mini games are all boring and are all chaotic and don't make sense.
Yeah, like What Would Party?
Yeah, exactly. Like you've got that one episode with with Wally where he's actually a prince and they have to do that weird stupid game. They try and translate that, but they do it poorly because it's not explained well even in universe. So
Yeah, and the time that the Planters still lose a cooking competition with pizza.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand what tomatoes are meant to taste like.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, you just doesn't matter how well you do, the PC will always do better because the games make no sense and the points don't matter.
Yeah, Clefairy always wins.
I mean, Mario Party is one of those bastard games where you could win every single minigame, and yet somehow you still lose.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how well you do, because it's all down to the RNG of who gets to steal a star and who gets the star stolen from them.
And those last-minute fucking bonus stars. Fuck you, Nintendo.
Yeah. Aggro tulips. It's going to be tulips. Yeah, tulips are going to be your currency.
It would have to be that or like fucking... Yeah, it would have to be that.
Yeah, because like what else is there? There's because the planters grow vegetables, but they're the only ones that care about vegetables in the entire village.
Yeah.
And
Like, you can't compete for the Calamity Gems. There's only 3 of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think my idea was anywhere near as fun as yours, and it bothers me. Do you have a hypothetical for me?
Mine one is congratulations, you are paralyzed for 3 days. You get 3 days of prescribed bed rest, and you can't move from your bed bed, what show are you going to be binging while you can't move?
Now, this is a question that's tailored for you, who notoriously never watches anything. Am I wrong?
A little bit.
There's plenty of Godzilla movies I've not watched, so I'd probably just somehow acquire all of them.
Yeah, and do a Godzilla marathon. Yeah, that's a pretty cool idea.
I mean, if I've got no choice but to literally lie still and it just plays automatically and all my waste is taken care of, what else am I going to... This question isn't meant for me, because unlike you, I actually watch things when I say I'm going to watch them.
Yeah, true. Fair enough.
So, yeah, same question. Names reversed.
I was going to pick Voltron, but that's now gone off Netflix, so I'm going to take a leaf out of the book that you've been talking about recently, last week, and I'm going to pick The Orville, because it's something that I have wanted to watch, and, having that amount of time just to watch that amount of stuff when, as you say, season 3, they're like an hour each.
Oh, fucking hour 15.
Yeah, an hour plus each. Yeah. It's a good use of otherwise unusable time.
I do think you get an extra. I think you've got an extra half day to fill as well.
Yeah, well, I guess you could you could like drift off for now and again, but yeah. So yeah, I'm only like 2 episodes into season 1, so I'd get a decent amount of time out of that.
Oh, Rick, I don't want to be paralysed for 3 days.
No.
I don't want to be paralysed for any length of time, if I'm being truthful.
No. Like, the only time I ever want to be in any way unable to control myself is when I am unconscious for, being asleep or being under anesthesia. And I don't want to be under anesthesia.
No, that's
but
real bad.
It might be required, yeah.
No, you're in pretty dire straits if you're in a scenario where you have to be forcibly knocked out.
Yeah, usually because surgery is about to happen.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Anyway, Rick, what are we doing?
Today we are watching Ramshackle. It's available on YouTube. It's 3, 2, 1, and go.
Yeah, it's simply the pilot, and it's on the channel of ZDZ.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it just told us to look out for an Easter egg. For those of you watching at home.
Yeah. Dude, I'm already loving the animation, style.
Nobody ever wants to confess to eating a whole tin of ravioli. That actually gave me a proper fucking ick. It really bugs me seeing people handle syringes.
Yeah, syringes and... a floating ciggy.
I'm going to assume that's Baby Maggot you were talking about.
Yeah, I believe so.
What accent is that? From the goth dude.
Yeah, I think it's just like a standard British.
It sounds a little bit Irish, but just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit Irish, yeah. It's Bono, isn't it?
Do not hold babies like that.
No, don't.
It's really bad.
Yeah, so they got 2 Americans and Bono as as the family members.
I don't like Bono, so you shouldn't call him that. My God, look at these fucking Haluva Boss background characters.
Yeah, you can tell the animator's pedigree.
That's a sentence.
Yeah, piss an opportunity. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the tagline.
Careful, he's a narc.
Hmm. Oh.
They're doing this very weird things with the extremities, like the fingers, the ears, and the noses all being different colours.
Yeah, I mean, the nose is kind of like a standard thing in a lot of animations these days. But it's weird that they're doing it with the ears as well.
And the fingers.
Yeah.
The creator voiced that.
Yep. Yep, the creator voiced that.
That couldn't be asked to pay a VA to make babbling noises. Can't blame them.
That's a very definite, like, little shit hell of a boss character there.
Oh, yeah. I'm just looking in the background, the advertisement that just says, consume.
Yes.
Don't smile. You think that's a smile?
Yeah. Pause.
Snap her neck! Well, that's horrifying.
Well, now, yes. The kid just goes, "Okay, bye."
That's not okay.
No, it's not. That's murder.
Well, he just fell in love.
Yeah, he did. Paternally. Burps out the pearls.
No, it's a treasure map.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's not. That's.
Oh no. They're doing Honey Boo Boo. $10.
Utapata kapata wa walkie nipple pinchy.
I was thinking it.
Yeah, I don't understand. I think most rational people don't understand child pageants.
Yeah, I don't know who it's for.
Pedophiles.
Well, yeah.
They make them wear swimsuits. There's no benefit to that.
No.
I'm gonna fucking win.
I'm gonna fucking win.
Well, she smartens up, doesn't she?
Yeah, she cleans up nice.
That's such a haluva joke, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Come to think of it, that sounds very fucking Pilot Alistair-y, doesn't it?
Does a little bit.
But I think most of that is just due to the old school microphone effect.
Yeah, I get you.
Kill it.
Jaden
Kill it with fire. I love that sort of gag, that visual humour.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cute that they're actually the only ones who are actually supportive.
Yes.
82 hours a day.
Man, that feels straight out of Smiling Friends, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It helps all the babies look like Pim.
True. The maggot, that's who I am. Oh, it's gonna be a King Kong situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's gonna end up eating a bunch of people now.
I say King Kong, but my mind still goes to Nessie in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You got interviews with a baby that can't talk.
Yeah, so they can put literal words in their mouth. You're all poor! Fuck off, poor!
I guess this is just how people be in this universe. Like, Maggot's not even special.
No.
You'll be surprised how easy it is to convince people that you are indeed the manager at places.
Yeah, so when I worked at the factory second store, which was basically a step up from a charity shop, I wore a suit because you had to wear proper pants, and if they were going to wear out, I might as well wear out my jacket as well. And yeah, people just came to me assuming that I was a manager.
And my heart weeps. I shall shed a single tear, and I'm done.
This is actually a pretty good bop.
Yeah, it sounds right at home from like a Tony Hawk game.
Yeah. Or Crazy Taxi or something like that, yeah.
I mean, same game, really.
Yeah. Yeah, doing backflips in a taxi.
What have I told you, Rick, that if in Pirate Yakuza you pick up a magic violin that summons sharks?
I'm saying, is that one character's gimmick or is it the item's gimmick?
It's the item's gimmick.
Because it does sound like the kind of thing that like one character would get in a party.
Well, you pick it up and Goro plays it and he does that and he goes, I'm pretty sure this is shortening my life. Because this is clearly cursed.
My life.
Oh, is he a magical angel now as well?
Either that or he's going to like digivolve into like, I don't know, a fly.
That's very angelic. Well, what magical fly do we know that's a demon? Beelzebub. Oh no, it's a straight up seraphim.
Oh, a literal like biblical angel.
Oh dear. You are not worthy of my protection.
Yeah. Those who have nothing are the ones that actually have humanity. Aww.
I'm going to kill you all. Okay, yeah.
Sweet. Catharsis.
Man, they made him a marketable plush. How dare they?
Especially since he's like literally not showing up again. Or so it would seem.
Hey, what? No, that looks like the Irish
wait,
dude.
no. They're they're making Stone into the plush. I was thinking, making Maggot into a plush would be in poor taste.
I'll tell you what is in poor taste. They made Anya from fucking mouthwashing into a marketable plush. And if there's a character... Like, none of those characters should be marketable when you fucking played that game.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I'd argue Anya least of all, like... Jesus Christ, that's... weird.
I've not played mouthwashing.
You really should. Like, it's like a tenner when it's full price. It's not a long game either, and it doesn't require skill of any kind. So, rather fittingly, the thing it suggests you watch next is Lackadaisy.
Yes, that the creator also worked on.
So yeah, what do you think?
I liked it. So I've seen that some people are a little less high on it on like IMDb and stuff like that, but I don't see anything wrong with this. Like I'd be happy to see more. I rate it maybe below something like Dungeon Flippers, but I would say personally I put it above Lackadaisy just because the characters gripped me more than the Lackadaisy characters did.
Sure.
But how about you? What do you think?
I totally get why people aren't quite as high on this as they are on a Lackadaisy or a Haluva Boss, or even Has Been Hotel, which is obviously most of those have gone on to be quite successful. I think the biggest issue with this as a pilot is I don't know anything. Where are they going from this point?
I think part of the problem is that it's going to feel derivative of other things that are similar. Because like Lackadaisy came out like 2 months before this did, but was also a webcomic way before that. Like this had its roots in 2020, but I think like Hellhour Boss had its pilot like even before that.
I mean, I couldn't tell you on that one because I came into that like mid-season 1, so it was well on the way. The thing about this is it's beautifully animated. Voice works great. Music's nice.
Yes.
Nothing is poor about it. You get a general gist of the world. You got the poor people and the rich people. Generic as fuck. Like that's in everything. Even if that's not the main point of the story, it's usually how the divide works. The biggest issue that I see and why I assume most of the people aren't too high on it review-wise is again, where's it going from here?
Yeah, because it's just going to be following the main three when it seems like the big deal was the main three who are established picking up a fourth, and that was a reasonable opening concept. If it weren't for Maggot becoming an angel and ascending, then that could have just been how they just went on from there.
Well, for real, until
you're one of us now, and we're going to raise you. But yeah,
until the ending, what the general beat seemed to be was going to be focusing on these three mismatch friends helping to raise a baby. Which so the plot is them going through life and raising this baby that's they've now decided to look after. But that's resolved. So would the plot of a series like this just be, here's the random adventures of this gang in this wacky world? But the problem is we don't know nothing about we know very limited information about the wacky world. Again, the only thing that was established is, here's the rich, posh people and they're all arseholes. Here's the poor, scrappy folks and they're our protagonists. It's very bare bones.
Yeah, I don't see a massive problem with that though. But it would need to be at least slightly edited for a longer form series.
Ed and Eddie, this is not.
They just have to. If they were keeping Maggot, then they'd obviously have to delete the time where Maggot became an angel and left the series, for instance.
I mean, it's a pilot. They could decide to change that. Like the pilot for Haluva Boss has got Stolas being an absolute cunt of a creature. like just being disgusting and gross. And yeah, he's still a bit lecherous and perverted when it comes to Blitz, but he's not quite as disgusting when it comes to the actual series. So they can retcon stuff like that. It's just, again, there's nowhere to go. You just ended your first episode with, by the way, angels exist, and they killed a bunch of people. The ending of this episode was quite literally a Deus Ex Machina.
Yes. Feeding our main characters with beans and 9 cents or 3 cents.
Yeah, it was a cent each and a tin of beans. And the beans were from the sponsors of the horrible tournament in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, again, there's nothing technically wrong with this episode. And, you know, you saying that it, like, got birthed out of, like, a thesis project. Yeah, I could understand how. Like, it was a very concise story. As a one-and-done piece of media, this is great.
Yeah, and, like, even from a thesis, like, I've not seen the thesis version of this from like 5 years ago, so I don't know how in-depth the concept was at the time, how fleshed out it was. But yeah, they made a decent, like, 15-minute version of the same idea, I assume.
Anyway, let's get to our usual wind down, shall we? Rick, do you have a standout favourite moment?
The fight scene with the music was very fun. It was very well animated, and it just oozed character of the main three as they were just, like, kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, I totally get you, man. I don't think it was particularly... I'm going to sound like such a bastard. I don't think it was particularly impressive. It was good, but it doesn't stand out against its contemporaries.
Okay, but as an indie, like, I thought it was fantastic. But how about you?
I'm not fucking comparing this to anime or anything recent. I'm literally, like, compare it to Helluva. Like, granted, I acknowledge that Helluva Boss is a bit of an unfair standard because it's a legitimate studio just releasing via YouTube. But, you know, compared to Helluva Boss, not too great. It's better than fucking the Earth Guy, but the Earth Guy is a much simpler art style.
Yeah, fair enough. But yes, do you have a favourite moment?
I guess for just the what the fuckness, the ascension of Maggot to Seraphim was pretty entertaining. Just how casually it solved the problem as well. It was amusing, and seeing as this is a one and if I treat this as a one and done episode, it was a fine ending.
Yeah. As like a one and done thing that's not even an episode. It just is what it is, and there's nothing before or after.
Exactly. I think that's again, if the reviews focus on this becoming an actual series of episodes of an ongoing thing, I can understand why people are left being like, you can't go up from here. You literally just had God solve the problem for you. That's shit. But as a one and done thing, low random, it's fine.
Yeah, totally.
All right, Eric, we don't only talk about the good, we also talk about the bad. Do you have a weakest link?
My weakest link is the setting is one of those that's kind of too bleak, can't care. Like, I'm not saying that I don't care about what happens in the show, because the characters are what drives it, but, like, it feels like any gains that they make are so minimal towards survival that it feels like it's a waste of time watching because they're never going to win, you know?
Yeah, I kind of get you on that front. It's just a classic dystopian setting of rich people are rich and evil, poor people are the plucky underdogs, and again, it's a one and done thing. It's fine. Yeah, but you know, it's a very generic setting. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it might be an evolving situation if they made it longer form, but other than that, like, yeah, we've seen dystopians in the past, and this is just one of them. How about you? Do you have a weakest link?
I mean, I think I've already established it. Like, they end on a Deus Ex Machina, which as a one and done episode is fine. Whatever. You can't move on from that if you want it to be a series.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's going to become a thing where it's just like, how often is this going to be a thing? Is every episode going to end with some random higher power bullshit just saving the day? In which case, what's the point in watching? Like, there was some fun visual gags in this episode that made me chuckle, but it wasn't like gut-bustingly funny.
Yeah, I mean, it was very charming, if not super funny, you know?
I guess one of the issues I'm having is it meant to be a comedy, or is it meant to be social commentary? What's it trying to do? If it's trying to do both, it doesn't do either particularly outstandingly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I feel it zones in on the buddy comedy a little bit better than the social commentary, because the social commentary is kind of like, it's understood the moment that it's that they show the stakes, you know?
Okay, but on the buddy comedy aspect, where's the funny? The only joke I remember was the gag of the guy going, "Maggot, am I reading that right?" And then that actually being the title card. I found that funny. But that's got nothing to do with the buddy comedy element.
Sure, fair enough. Like,
anyway,
I just like how the characters are just plucky with each other, and like they've got each other's backs, you know.
So any show ever?
Not all of them. But yes.
Alright, Rick, we don't like ending on a low point. We always like to end on a highlight. So with that in mind, do you have an MVP today?
I really like Vinny. She's fantastic to watch. She cleans up very nicely, and I'm all in on, let's call it the unkempt beauty type.
Rick's horny.
Yes. And, I just love that character design kind of gremlin look, you know? But yes, and like combine the design with the voice work and the animation, and you've got a winner. But yes, that's my MVP. Who's going to be yours?
It's a tough one, really. Because I assume they did the bulk of the animation work. I'll give it to the creator, because, like, honestly, as much as the story beats aren't that exciting for me, as much as jokes weren't really as jokey as I was hoping, and as much as the story was kind of meh, like the animation was flawless.
Yeah, absolutely. So Z-Chen from you.
Yeah, it was good. Like sound design was great as well, and I had no problem with the voice work. It's just looking at it from the point of view as a pilot for a series. Where do you go from here?
Yeah, I get you.
But animation great, voice work great, everything else great. Just a bit too much, I guess, while also being too little.
Yeah, it kind of tied itself off with a bow too well to continue, and like exactly as we say, where do you go from here if they want to make it into something longer form? Like this entire episode is going to have to be discarded if they unfold it into something longer, you know?
Well, which is totally valid. Like you can do that. That's the beauty of a pilot. You're meant to show what your general idea is, but even I don't really get what the general idea is.
Yeah, and sometimes the pilot is kind of hazy-feely accepted. Like the has-been pilot was kind of assumed to have happened, just maybe not exactly the way that we saw it in the pilot.
Yeah. It's one of those. Like, it could very well be a failing on my part, and that's fine. Whatever. Some pieces of media and some people just will not gel, and people have to live with that, and that's fine. As I say, overall, the technical side of things was great. The plot and whether this could evolve into something more. This is meant to be a highlight. Good job on the animation, guys. Anyway, that brings us to a close today. Let us know in the comment section what you thought of Ramshackle, why you think I'm wrong and a massive piece of shit, and why Rick is right to blow smoke up for this particular content's buttocks. So we've got the comment section on YouTube and Spotify. Alternatively, you can send us an email at
nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Let us know some interesting, witty comments. If they're witty, funny, or just educational, we may read them out on a future episode. But until then, we'll see you again next week, where we'll resume our regular broadcast.
Bye, everybody.